Hey everybody, Chris Petri here. Thanks so much for coming by. We have a fun video here today, a tutorial where we're going to do a brownstone. We're going to work right from our iPhone. You can use your iPad, your iPhone, your home computer, your TV, however you like to use your subject matter for reference material. Use that. And then we're just going to transition it over to our paper. We're going to do a pencil drawing first. Then we're going to start out with our darks and paint in our darks, which is our Alla Prima method. We're using the Alla Prima method here on this video, on this tutorial. Darks first, our dark doorway, dark beautiful wood doorway here. The doors, we're going to do some darks here for the shadowing in the windows, underneath the windows headers, and this basement window here, there's some more darks. After that, we go in and we do our beautiful brownstone color washes over the whole painting. And then once we're done, we'll do some final touch-ups and shadowing underneath the windows sills, the window headers. We'll do some railings on the staircase here leading up to the entry door to this beautiful brownstone apartment, condominium, townhouse, or home, whatever you want to imagine it. You're the artist. Have fun with this. Create that in your mind of a fun scene here, a street scene, where you're creating a brownstone. It's in the city. Maybe it's in my area, the New York City area, or maybe it's in your neck of the woods, wherever you live. Have fun with this. Enjoy it. We'll be right back. We'll start with our pencil sketch, and we're going to have a great time here. So let's get started in just a minute. All right, everybody, we're getting back into it here. You just saw the finished painting, so let's get right into it. We're just going to cover the basic sketch or the drawing here of this beautiful brownstone home here. So this is a beautiful brownstone. This is somewhere in the New York area. I typed in New York, Brooklyn, brownstone in Brooklyn, New York. Local area that I basically have worked in over my years in the New York and New Jersey area. So there are so many gorgeous, beautiful brownstone apartments, condominiums, and homes. Let's try one of these here. This looks like a beautiful one to try. Let's try it out. First thing I'm seeing is let's break this down into thirds, right? 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Again, you're very comfortable with that. I know all of you out there, you're always working along with me and you're saying, ah, yes, Chris is doing his 1/3 routine again. So if we don't want to guess, what is the size of this paper we're using here? 8 inches. Okay, so if we break 8 into 1/3, 369, not quite. How about 2, 4, 6, 2.5, and then another 2.5. 1, 2. Okay, let's leave it at that. 2.5, 2.5, bottom. There we go. Then we just go across, light sketch across the painting, across the paper with our pencil. 1, 2, 3/3. Okay. Now we're going to look at it and say, wow. We're looking at it and we're saying the door and the window over here is a little bit past halfway. So if we take a halfway line and say, let's make this halfway. Again, you can measure it and say, well, what is halfway on this paper here? I just taped out my paper and it was 6 inches wide. 3 inches is halfway. Well, this here is a little bit past halfway, because if I take my phone and say that's 3 inches, inch and a half, actually inch and a half works out. So 3 inches is halfway, 6 inches is here. So this is 6 inches right here from here to here. Halfway is 3. This right side of the door of this beautiful brownstone is halfway across the paper. So that's 3 inches. Because if we have 6 inches here, 3 inches here, then you can take your ruler and say, okay, let's make a vertical line here, a plumb line. And we'll just do that. So now we've divided our paper actually into halfway in the center, and then thirds, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3, and that's how we have our basically 2, 4, 6 segments, 6 blocks. So basically we have 6 blocks here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We look at our phone here. I know many of you use your iPads. I see many very successful watercolor artists. They bring their iPads out, and that's how they work. They use their iPads and they pull up their subject matter and they use that, and that's perfect. You can set your iPad up right in front of your watercolor paper if you're working on like a watercolor setup where you have maybe your table with your watercolor paper, and then you can set up an iPad, which is a little bit larger than a phone. You can see here I'm using a phone. I don't have an iPad right now. I'm probably going to invest in one because I think it's a good thing, but right now I just have my iPhone. But in any case, you can see how that works. Halfway is the picture here, half, and I have my line down the center halfway, and then the bottom of the windows and the bottom of the door, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And that's basically all you have to do for this painting is create a halfway point down the center of your painting, and then 1/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 to the top, and then you have it. Then we just say, okay, let's do the door here. So let's do our door. Like this, rectangle, like so. And then there's some columns here. Let's do our columns. Beautiful columns here, like so. Don't fret over these things, just get them in. Okay, columns here, a little bit of decorative. You're going to paint in most of your details. You don't want to be trying to draw and sketch your details all the time. Just get some basic pencil drawing in there for your doorway here. And then for the doorway here, you can see it's an archway like so. Like that, an arch doorway, beautiful wood door. And then you have the center of the door there. And that's how we do it. And we just try to draw the door in. You get it as best you can. I'm just going to do some windows here. Beautiful windows here. Some lead-edged windows in this arched doorway here. You can't get better than this. I had a friend one time that I visited his home. I worked with him, and he had a brownstone home in Brooklyn, New York, actually. And it was just a beautiful home. Brownstone looked much like this. And when we went inside, everything was all beautiful hardwood floors and brand new granite countertops and the whole 9 yards. It looked great. He was a successful builder. So he knew how to build homes and build condominiums and whatever else you wanted to build. He had it down pat. And so I'm just going to get the windows in here. Okay, so these are the windows up above. Like that. And we're just having fun here. We're just doing some really fun shapes, squares, rectangles. Let's do that. Okay. Like this, and then there's windows within here, within the stone. So this is Brownstone facade. Brownstone facade apartment building or condominiums, or they could be homes actually. And then these are the window panes, like that. So you just get your window panes in, like simple, like that, you know, pretty straightforward. And then some stone ornamentation around the windows. like that. And these are already in. And then we have some stone ornamentation there. And then over here too we have another window. This is over here, window header. And then we have our window jambs. And you can see I'm just having a fun time here. We're just then there's the window sill. Perfect. Okay, so you have two windows up top, your main entry door here. Then we're going to have, for our main entry door, we're going to have some steps going down, so you can see that we're going to have steps coming down here. So these will be the steps, and they're pretty much straight down, like so. Like that. Like that. And there's some railings down here, like that. And there's some more railings over here. Straight across from there, the railings over here. And then down here like so. So we have railings. And then over here we have a basement entry, or this could be a basement window over here. So this is at the ground level. This is the sidewalk level down here, and then you walk up into the brownstone, beautiful brownstone apartment or home here. There's our doors are here, and this might be a basement window here, like so. And then there's maybe some bushes over here too. There's some beautiful greenery and bushes on the side over here. Same over here, a little bit of bushes and greens over here, and you're going to see how we'll do a beautiful brownstone home here. And you know, pretty quickly, we don't have to worry too much. Put some more window panes in. Same kind of window panes is the same here. So you have halfway, 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 and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically you just make your grid the same as you see here in this picture. I'm working again from my phone, my iPhone. You can use your iPad, your home computer, your TV. If you're watching online on your TV, you can really basically create from anything that you have handy. You can work from my video on your phone if you have your YouTube video up online and you're going to watch the very first part of my video. I always put most times I always put the finished painting on here, so you'll see this finished painting right at the beginning of my video. You could hit pause and work from that, or the best thing to do is just watch all the way full through the whole video, then go back to the beginning or leave it at the end and hit pause and use my video as a guide for your painting and your drawing. But for this point, for this bit here, you can see I've got the drawing in. It looks good. Okay. And then we have a little bit of details on this here. But that should be good. Okay, let's come back in just a second. We're going to finish up here with this beautiful brownstone home here in Brooklyn, New York. I've seen some really beautiful architecture over my years in New York, New Jersey, the areas that I live. in the Northeast United States. So let's take our sketch, get it in, get it done, copy it right from your iPhone, your iPad, your home computer, your TV, however you're working. Maybe you want to print it out. Maybe you have a home computer and you want to print out a picture of a bluestone home. You could do that too, but here I'm using this photograph that I found online. So we're going to use this, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to paint this alla prima. So our technique, our method of painting is going to be alla prima, which means we're painting this all at one time. We're not really doing the glazing technique. We're just going to paint this all at one time, and we're actually going to start out with the darks first. So I'm going to start out with this dark doorway here. There's some dark, beautiful, rich wood doors here. I'm going to start with that. Some dark shadows underneath some of the doorway here, some of the darks in the windows, some of the dark frames of the windows, and then from there we'll kind of work our lighter colors, those light blues and some of the other darks too. We're gonna kind of go as we go. So that's what's fun about alla prima. You just start in one place, usually the darkest dark area you're going to start with first, and then you work out from there. And also too, we just noticed that this is all a beautiful brownstone facade here on this apartment building or this condominium or home. So it's basically a brownstone color. So we're going to mix our brownstone color and get that onto the paper as well. But we're probably going to do our darks first. So let's take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll start with our darks, and we'll create our door first, maybe this window second, maybe over here. This is a kind of a dark window here. So there's some darks maybe reflecting in the windows. And then up here we see the sky. Maybe the sky is reflecting in the windows up here. So it's a lighter blue color. So you'll see all these things as we go, as we work. And we're having fun here. And I always mention too, if you haven't subscribed before, right here below on the right-hand side, you can subscribe to my channel, Chris Petri, here on YouTube. Basically, when you subscribe, all it does is it lets you know when I make a new video. So each time you open up YouTube and you click on your YouTube icon on your iPhone or your computer, your home computer, or however you get connected up with your internet, you'll always click on YouTube and they'll actually show you that I've created a new video. They'll just have it in your once you click on YouTube and you get into your YouTube icon and your homepage, you'll just see Chris Petri has created a new video, and you'll see it right there on your homepage. And then you could follow along and watch along and whatever you'd like. And if maybe you want to wait till the next week, you find something a little bit more interesting, you want to paint, draw and paint in watercolor, well, then that's fine too. But we do everything watercolor here on my channel. So I'm always working in watercolor. I'm always doing creative ideas here in watercolor, whether it's some beautiful brownstone apartment buildings and condominiums and townhomes and homes, or I'm doing flower paintings or seascape paintings or beach scenes or landscape paintings or even figure paintings and portrait paintings. Whatever I'm doing, it's all watercolor. So if you just subscribe below, you'll be tapped into what we're doing here, and you can follow along and just practice along, and before you know it, you're going to have a lot of great skills with watercolor. So that's my main goal, is to get everyone with a lot of great skills in watercolor and a lot of success in watercolor. So stick with us here, and I'll come right back in just a second, and we'll start this painting. We're going to again start with the alla prima method on this painting with the darks, and we'll continue on, okay? So give me just a minute. If you don't mind, I just want to take a quick break, and then we'll get started with our painting. Okay, all right. Be right back. All right, we're getting back started again here, and I'm going to probably use maybe 2 different brushes. I think that might work really well here. For the small details, I might use a number 4 Kolinsky Sable travel brush, Da Vinci travel brush, and then I might have my Raphael number 6 round brush with sable hair. So between these 2 brushes, I think I can get most of the details here. I'll start out with a smaller brush, and let's just remember we're having fun here. We're doing a beautiful brownstone, and let's get this done. Let's really key in on the darks and the mediums and the lights. So you can kind of see the lights of the painting are the windows up here that are catching the light from above the sky. But then everything else below these two windows really is medium or dark tonal values. So when you're looking at this painting, you're saying, well, what are the darks? What are the lights? What are the medium tonal values? So you're looking at this as, basically darks, mediums, and light tonal values. Again, these two windows are the lightest lights of the picture, of the painting. And then everything else is medium or dark tonal values over the rest of the painting. So that's going to look really nice as far as the composition goes. So let's get right into it, and let's create our darks for our door. French ultramarine blue, burnt umber, French ultramarine blue. Let's mix up some darks here. French ultramarine blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna. Let's get some good darks, and that looks perfect for our doors. And let's just start doing our door here. The main entry door, beautiful. Dark wood door, gorgeous. And we're just going to have fun with this and go right around. And like so. So that's going to be our dark, beautiful, rich looking wood door. And then we're going to have the door here. And you don't want much water at all. Actually, you want to avoid water. You just want to use your straight paint, basically. Maybe a damp brush just to start out with, but can you see how I'm using straight paint? I'm not using any water because you have these darks here, and these darks require almost zero water. So you almost just might as well take your water bucket and throw it out the window at this point because it's not going to help. And then once you get your darks in here like so for this door, you're in good shape. You're going to have your window, your glass windows on the door are going to be and then we'll have some yellow ochre over here and some cerulean blue over here. So I'm just looking at the colors in the picture and saying, okay, I see some golds, some beautiful gold colors, and some blues over here too in this portion of the painting where the doors are. So let's do that. Let's make sure we get the like that, some gold, and then some blue and gold here, like that. And then some more, I rinse off my brush and just get a little more gold for the hardware on the door, like so. And that looks really good. And then I'll pick up some more darks because I want to make sure I get the tops of the door where the window is right there, like that. There we go. And then you'll see that we have captured a beautiful arched door here. And then we're going to start making in some of the darks under here. So now we're doing all our darks. If you can imagine, when you're doing Alla Prima painting, which I'm doing right now, get your darks in first. And then once you get your darks in, the rest is easy. So you can see I'm doing my darks first here. And then I rinse off my brush, and if you have to, you take your tissue, dry off your brush a little bit with, dry off some water off your brush, and then you can kind of, let's get some cadmium red, alizarin crimson, burnt umber, and some yellow ochre. And we're going to start trying to create that we're going to start trying to get our brownstone color going here. So I'm going to start using some alizarin crimson with brown and gold. And if I start to mix up some paint there, I kind of see I'm getting the idea of it. That looks pretty good. Now, when you get that color mixed just right, which it looks pretty good, then you're kind of really looking good. You can maybe step up but before you step up and start to get everything painted in, let's get our other darks in that we'd like to get in. So that would be over here. There's some darks next to this. So this is just some darks along the side here. Let's get that in. And then let's get some of these steps in here. We noticed that underneath the steps, there's a little bit of a shadow underneath the stones. So there's stone steps, and underneath those stone steps, stone treads, as they call them, there's a shadow under those because they stick out from the steps. So they cast a shadow underneath the steps themselves. So there we go. We're going to have a shadow underneath the stone treads, and those look to me like brownstone treads as well. So everything is brownstone on this building. And then some more darks. Let's get our darks in over here. This is a window over here, dark. I'm just following these darks here first. Let's get those darks in first. Like that. Then there's some greens. Let's get some greens over here. Why not? Green, brown mixed with green. Like that. I'll make this a little more watery and splash like that, so that I have a little bit of, and I just try to mix in a little bit of the green, and there's some beautiful plantings and bushes over here. Let's get those in. Right, looks good. There's a little more over here. So we'll just do that. Splash on some greens over here just to get some more. Okay. Like that. And I just scratch with my thumbnail just to get a couple little uprights. A couple of finger painting details here. Like that. Okay, that's good. Then we're going to continue on with some darks. Let's get our window frames in here. So our window panes are actually dark. And those are burnt umber, French ultramarine blue, burnt sienna. Get it nice and dark, and then you just continue on. And continue on with that. Get a little dark shadow under there like so, and continue on. Like that. And then just carefully put in some window panes, right? Just simple. You could do some dark window panes up here first, too. So let's do that. Let's get our darks in. So we're just going to do some window panes here. Again, the more you practice your brush strokes, swatches, if you type in Chris Petri brushwork, you'll find probably 10 or 20 videos on brushwork. And then when you find those, you'll see that I'm always kind of really like encouraging everyone to practice your brush strokes so that you can really handle your brush efficiently, quickly. You can go through this painting like this quickly, and you're not going to be struggling with these brush strokes. We're just going quickly through it like this. Just like you see me doing here, I'm not struggling. I'm kind of zipping right through there, right? I've done these 3 windows within like a minute. And so the better you practice with your brush, the quicker you're going to go through your paintings and have a more, fun time and easier time versus struggling trying to get your washes in. So that's how I think of it. Okay, so we have our window panes in, our door, our main door here, our window down here in the bottom here. You can do a couple little, with your nail, you can scratch in a couple lines in there. We have our stairs in here with our shadows under our stair treads. We'll go in and we'll put brownstone color over the whole entire painting now. So this is the fun part. You've got all your darks in, right? We can see that. You have all your darks in. Maybe you have a little darker shadows up here under the tops of the windows because those catch a little more shadow under there, like so. So you put those in there, like so. And what else do we have here? A little bit of shadow there. And we are looking good. Okay, so let's come back now after this dries. Let this dry a little bit. You can use a blow dryer to dry off all your washes right now. Right here, you see all these washes we just did. This first bit of darks, we did all darks here, Alla Prima. I remember when you're on my videos here and you're watching my tutorials, you'll usually hear me tell you, Chris is telling you, I'm either using Alla Prima method or a glazing technique. So right now we're using the Alla Prima method. Alla Prima means basically, the way I explain it is you're going in and doing all of your darks first, letting it all dry, then you go in and do all your lighter washes second. Versus if you're doing the glazing technique, you're doing all your light washes first, letting that dry, and going in and doing your darker washes, your subsequent darker washes. So that's where we have the difference in Alla Prima versus glazing technique. So this is here, we're doing the Alla Prima technique, just so we kind of get that, basically in our minds, in our thought processes as we go through this painting. We're doing the Alla Prima method here. We're going in and getting all our darks in first, the dark doors, the dark window frames, and the dark window grills here, those darks. You see we did the window grills, the window frames, the dark window down here. So the darks first for Alla Prima. Then we go in and do the subsequent washes after that, which will be that beautiful brownstone color over the whole entire painting. And then after that, once that dries, we'll go in and maybe do some touch-ups and some shadows here and there, and you'll see how we do that. But for the most part, you can kind of see what I did here. I got the darks in first, all the darks you see here, for the most part, in. Let this dry. You can use a blow dryer to dry it really fast if you want to go right back in and get it done quick. So here we have the darks in. Next, we're going to do the lighter washes all through here, all of that brownstone wash throughout the whole painting. And then after that, we're going to come in and do some further shadowing if we want to at the very end after the second wash is completed when we're doing our Alla Prima method. So let's take a break. We'll come back and I'll pick up again right from where we left off here with our darks. Again, all of our darks now are in this painting. And then we'll see how it works out when we start putting in our lighter washes over the top. Okay? Be right back. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you haven't subscribed, right down here below on the right-hand side, there's the subscribe button. I'm always creating new paintings every week. We're painting here month after month, week after week, month after month, year after year. We're creating watercolor videos for you. And we have thousands of people watching along right now, painting along with us. Why don't you join along with us? All you have to do is subscribe. You subscribe on the right-hand side below, click the subscribe button, and all that's going to do is just the next time you open up your YouTube button and your YouTube channel, when you come onto YouTube, you'll see our videos there on the top of your list. So you can just jump right in and start painting again and drawing and painting with us in watercolor. So don't worry about it. Don't lose me. Sometimes people, they come and watch one of my videos and they lose me and they forget my name. They forget my channel. They forget the whole deal. And the next thing you know, they can't find me again. So don't let that happen. Click on subscribe on the right-hand side below. This way you have me locked in on your YouTube channel. You won't get any emails or phone calls or text messages. It just means YouTube will let you know when I make a new video the next time. So you can watch along and join along with us. And that's all we're going to do here. So you can get better at your watercolors. You can have success with your watercolors. And we do everything watercolors here on my channel. So I'm not going to do anything other than painting, drawing and painting in watercolors right here on this channel. So we'll be right back and we'll start putting in our secondary washes right now over the top of our darks. And we're doing the Alla Prima method again. So you don't forget, I always mention things over and over and over again so you hear them and you remember them, okay? Repetition is the mother of skill. The more you repeat things over and over, the more skill you will have. So let's get started again in just a second with our beautiful brownstone washes over the top of these gorgeous darks. Okay, be right back. Okay, we're getting started again. And again, we're doing the Alla Prima method here. Beautiful brownstone home here. And let's start out by upping our brush size. So I was starting out with the 4 Da Vinci travel brush, number 4 round brush. I'm going to go up to a number 6 Raphael Klinsky Sable round brush. So I'm going to rinse that off, get it, so that's what we're going to use next to get our larger washes on here. So let's do it. And I think we might be able to do everything here quite rapidly right now with this larger brush. So let's blue, like that, for the windows. And I'm popping on some color, just like that. Looks fantastic. Now we'll use some of our brownstone colors, and let's just start getting all of our brownstone color on here. There we go. Just take all that color that you mixed up there on the bottom. And that's all we're going to do is just start, get that brownstone color onto your paper, onto your painting. And then when we're done with this brownstone color, we'll add in some shading to create more definition. But honestly, right now you're just looking to get that wash on there, the whole wash. Just like this. The stairs here, so you're going to do some parallel strokes this way, left to right. Get your parallel strokes in there, get some water on that. Get that all covered. You want to cover everything with your brownstone color, that reddish brown color. Okay. There you go. Then you just do the same thing over here. Get that brownstone color. You mixed plenty of it when you first started. Remember, we mixed that brown and gold color. And then you just mix it right on through the whole painting. The whole facade of this brownstone home is basically the brownstone color because everything is the stone, the brownstone facade. Okay. And once you have that, you're all set. We have the blue colors up here for the sky colors. It's picking up the sky color. And then down here, we're going to do the darker colors. And that's some gold, some greens. You can kind of see I'm just going to mix it up like I see over here, darks. Like that. Some dark under there. Some darks over here. Right, and then we'll see some gold. Some gold there. So that's our goal, to basically, and you can see we did the same thing over here on the doors when we first started. You just want to kind of look at your photograph that you have on your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, whatever it is, and just take those colors and make sure you're kind of just, using the same thing you're seeing. That's your goal. You're going to use the same colors you see. Like that. See, I'm going with some more darks over here. There might be some more darks over here too. You can kind of see here on the door. Like that. And there's some darks over here like so. At the bottom of the window. So again, we're just following the blueprint. We're following the blueprint of our photograph here, our reference photo. Now, we'll put some cerulean blue here. Some shadows under here. There's some shadows over here. Okay, so we're going to do some shadows with cerulean blue over top. And then some more cerulean blue over here. And this is where you just kind of have fun. Blend in some shadows here and there. There's some more shadows up here. Like that. And then we're going to have some shadows under here, under the window headers. There's some head trim over the top of the windows. We'll get some shadows under there, like that. Definitely want to get shadows under that head trim there. And then over here underneath the sills, some more shadowing. Okay, so I'm just following this blueprint here. This is the blueprint, and then I just look at the blueprint and say, whatever's on here, I'm going to transfer over here and try to do the same as what it's showing me I should be doing over here. So I'm just doing some shadowing here. I see there's shadowing over there. Slight shadowing over here on this side of the window, this side of the window over here. Blend this here. I'm going to blend these shadows in over here. There's some more shadowing over here under the steps. Under the steps here, there's some more shadowing, like that, under the treads, like that. Okay, there we go. And there's some more shadowing under here. Okay, and there's some more shadowing under here too, a little darker. And we got some more shadows under here, under the header of the doorway. A little bit of greenery. Let's do some more splashing over here. Splashing is always good. Adds a little bit of variety and interest and excitement to your painting. So I'm just going to do a little splashing at the bottom of the painting as well. I'll take some of that brownstone color, and I want to do some splashing too on the brownstone to give the brownstone some texture. So let me do that. Let me just add some splashing all around to the bluestone. And as you do that, you can lift up a little bit with a tissue. Like so. And I do a little more shadowing. And up here too as well. And I just added a little bit of gold, yellow ochre, maybe, just to add a little more. There we go. All right, that is about it. Let's do one more thing. Let's take a break, dry this off, and we'll do some railings here. I noticed there's some railings here that are very, very dark. They look really interesting. But if we were to try to put them in now while the paper is still damp, it's going to run and make unpleasant marks on our paper, and it won't look as good. If we just let this dry with a blow dryer, or if you want to let it dry, maybe, you know, you might want to let it dry for a couple hours. If you don't want to blow dry it with a blow dryer, you can let it dry a couple hours. But once you do that, then you can come back in and just do the railings here with a dark. We'll mix the dark right now. French ultramarine blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna, a little more French ultramarine blue, a nice beautiful dark here, burnt umber, French ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, a nice dark. Let's get that going here. We'll have this all prepped now. So now we have our dark prepped for our railings, but we have to let that sit now right now for a few minutes, let it dry, and then we can actually go in and do our railings. And you can even do a couple darks, a couple spots of darks here and there. Like that. Okay, so let's dry this off with a blow dryer again, or you let it dry a couple hours and come back and do the final railings and maybe a few little details. We'll see what we have. Okay, so we'll be right back in just a second. Thanks. All right, we're almost completed now. We mixed up some gorgeous darks here with French ultramarine blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna. We're going to do the basic shapes of the railings that are sitting here on the staircases, like that. And don't worry, just haphazardly get them on there. Don't worry about it if they don't look perfect. There you go. There we go. And we just do a couple there, like that. Perfect. There we go. We have our railings in, just like that. A little bit of shadow under the header over the doorway with the same dark. And I add a little splashing to the little bit of water, green. A little bit of finger painting here. Just a little bit of that's all. Just a couple of little indications of some branches. Like that. Maybe a little bit over here too, just an indication of some splashing. There might be some more beautiful plantings and things like that at the bottom of the staircase here. Like that. And I think that is fine. All right. And I just do a couple more shadows there. There we go. A couple more shadowings. Some shadows underneath the windowsills of the windows. And we have plenty of details all throughout this painting. You can kind of see we captured the photograph pretty close to what we're seeing there. A beautiful brownstone. Okay, so let's peel off the tape, see how that looks, just how it looks isolated. Sometimes when you peel off your tape after you are completed with your painting, you'll see it looks a little bit, definitely more finished. It looks more like a finished painting, like that. So that looks good. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this painting. We're going to do a lot more paintings just like this in the future on my channel. So keep coming back. Again, subscribe on the right-hand side below, just so you know. You'll be in contact with me at all times as we go forward. And if you like this painting, please give me a thumbs up. All you have to do is just click that thumbs up button. Let me know you enjoyed this video, you thought it was interesting, you had fun with it, maybe you painted it, and you really leave comments in the comments section. I always tell everyone, please leave comments in the comments section, questions. I know many of you have great experiences. You can leave those experiences and comments in the comments section. Everyone else can learn from those. And if you have some questions, we can answer those. Maybe some of the other people in the comment sections can answer questions as well. I don't always have every answer, but there's a lot of people out there that are painting many, many years in watercolor, and they can also answer your questions if I don't maybe have your exact answer that you might need. So again, we're having fun here. We're all getting together with the watercolor medium, painting together, drawing and painting in watercolor. This was a really fun painting of a brownstone, and I hope you had a fun time, and we'll get together in the very near future, within a couple days or so.